You're watching ET Markets Live. I'm Neha Vashist. Welcome to a brand new episode of ET Market Wrap, where we discuss what happened in the markets this week and what we can expect next week. Joining us today is Kranthi Bathini, equity strategist at Wealth Mills Securities. Thank you so much, Mr. Kranthi, for joining us today on ET Markets Live.
Thank you, Neha. Thanks for inviting me on your show to share my market views with you and with all the viewers of ET Markets.
Well, the pleasure is all mine. So let's quickly start with today's session. This week was a testing week for all markets. Whenever we talk about domestic markets or we talk about global markets also. However, it seems like the markets are still in good shape when we talk about India. So, what's your view on this situation?
One thing, Neha, as you rightly mentioned, markets have been going through a consolidation kind of a phase. And also, we all know last 15 days have been turbulent
Hmm.
for the markets and the Middle East tensions, the West Asia tensions have created turbulence in the market, especially all the eyes have been watching the crude oil price, the way the sudden spots in the crude oil. Definitely, it
Hmm.
created a knee kind of reaction on Indian markets, where one way we have a cool off of inflation and markets have been rejoicing. So it came up like a sudden surprise to the market. The Middle East crisis, the escalation of geopolitical issues created some kind of a knee-jerk reaction for crude oil prices. And what we are seeing is thanks to the ceasefire agreements and ceasefire negotiations that are going on right now, which made the crude to cool off at this point of time, which making a favorable weight for Indian markets. Our domestic macro setup has been quite good, and we had a rate cut, and in a hope of the rate cut, further rate cuts, and also cool off of inflation, one way markets have been at a firm note.
Hmm.
But the crude oil uptick has created some kind of worry. But now, the joker in the pack, the crude oil has been cooling at this point of time. So
Yeah.
that's where market could able to regain the strength actually, and that's how we are above 25,600 levels right now, which is a positive indication for the market in the medium to short term.
All right. Let's also talk about the big elephant in the room, Donald Trump. So we all got a good news, kind of good news in the morning. U.S. President Donald Trump recently signed a deal with China. He announced in a press conference. However, he also hinted at a possible big deal with India regarding a trade agreement. How do you think it could affect India and Indian markets?
Neha, you rightly mentioned the big elephant in the room, but actually, understanding the mood of this elephant is very difficult for the market, and it is unpredictable. That's how things are going. Okay,
Yeah.
next time don't make the commentary like this, because when you apply for US visa, they are checking what kind of comments we are making. So, on a
Definitely.
lighter on a lighter note, yes, definitely. How things are going. The US policymakers have been negotiating with various countries, with their trade partners, including India. But this entire saga of these trade wars and trade negotiations have been taking twists and turns. So, until unless we get the complete final full-fledged blueprint and draft, yeah,
Hmm.
everything is speculation at this point of time. We all witnessed how the way the trade negotiations going on with respect to China. One week they say the talks have been going very smooth. The other week they'll come out and say nothing is moving. We are again uh,
Yeah.
in the way to reach the consensus. But the feelers with respect to India is concerned, I believe there is a constructive discussions are going on.
Hmm.
Still, we need to wait and watch the initial commentary of President today. There is a big deal for India and US with respect to the trade talks are concerned. So wait for the positive outcome with respect to India and US trade deal is concerned. And there can be a extension of the time phase with respect to the deadline for these trade deals are concerned. That also there on the cards. So crossed our fingers. We don't know how the behavior and how the elephant is going to dance in the medium to short term. But by and large,
Hmm.
expect the positive outcome.
Yeah.
So that gives some kind of a clarity for the markets in the medium to long term.
Sure, sure, sure. I would like to also discuss one more thing about Donald Trump. That it seems like in the past few years, US, in a generic manner, has also become a little soft towards India due to the political ties as well. Earlier, the tensions between US and India when it comes to trade agreements were a little stronger, but now it seems like US is ready to adjust or maybe come to terms to a middle ground with India due to different reasons, strategic reasons and political reasons. Do you think that after this big deal happens, it could affect the Indian markets positively?
Neha, with respect to the bilateral trade of India and US is concerned, uh, we have a trade surplus of around $35 billion to $40 billion around. And by and large, the areas where the US is trying to influence the policymakers of India in the medium to short term are concerned, okay, the agricultural products where India is trying to protect the interest of the farmers, where there is a lot of productivity gaps are concerned,
Hmm.
and also the automobile industry where we have a restriction of the import duties. That's where the US is showing more interest towards the bridge these deficits. These are very sensitive points, but I'm sure there will be amicable points, amicable solutions they are going to reach. They're tough in negotiations. They are going to bring some kind of agricultural related products, soya oil, various agriculture kind of products. So India, which have a strong base of farmers, we need to protect our domestic farmers also, which are the productivity levels are comparatively very less. So protecting the interest of Indian farmers also one of the key priority for the Indian administration is concerned. So by and large, we need to wait and watch how things are going to pan out in the next coming days. That's very crucial. And also, Indians also have the opportunity to market our products in US, but our productivity and the quality levels have to be is the greater challenge for India in the medium to short term. Overall, we need to wait and watch how the kind of negotiation because end of the day deal means win and win for both the countries. How it's going to be, we need to wait and watch closely. The developments are very important. Once the trade deal is done, we'll get a greater clarity. That's how markets are going to behave. But by and large, Neha, my sense is markets are trying to digest the outcomes of these trade deals in the medium to long term. What's happening is the greater worry for US also. It's not only for India and their trade partners. The the import duties of US on an average earlier before this the entire trade wars started, it was around 1%, and on an average right now it's going up to 10% if they negotiate with every countries. So that kind of impact the US is going to have. And also one of the key sufferer in this entire trade deal is it can be the US consumer. That's where the complete worrying factor is coming. Of course, one hand, the President Trump is going to increase the tariffs, but who is going to pay from whose pocket? The government, federal government, is not going to pay from their pocket. So the US consumer is going to pay for these tariffs. So one of the key priority for US government also the US consumer. US consumer is a dominant consumer. Their per capita consumption levels are much higher than the European consumption and European GDP also. So that's where the priority for US government protecting the interest of US consumer is also extremely important. The one way is going to safeguard the deficits and all. So overall, it's a complex in nature. We can't tell in a single statement.
All right. Let's also briefly talk about Iran and Israel situation. Ceasefire has been announced. We saw a positive momentum in the markets after the ceasefire also. However, we can see that the tensions are far from away right now, because there is a banter going on between Iran, Israel, and US also. How do you see this affecting the global markets in the near term?
Neha, this area of concern has been one of the key concern area. Getting into a war with Iran directly was a concerning area from the market, but market could able to witness those phases also in the recent past. So one way the geopolitical worries have been the key concern for the market from the past 36 months. We have witnessed the war between Ukraine and Russia, and markets had a major kind of reaction. And last 600 days, the Israel involved with many of their oppositions, many of their neighboring countries, and uh, Gaza conflicts have been the market could able to digest. And the last an important thing, a direct confrontation with Iran and Israel, what we witnessed, the market witnessed. So market could able to digest these kind of a very strong geopolitical escalations. And Indian market, we had a direct war like a situation between India and Pakistan. Market could able to digest this kind of situation. So one way, the geopolitical issues, they do create a knee-jerk kind of reaction and a turmoil for the market in the medium to short term. But markets are slowly could able to observe these kind of a geopolitical crisis, which are crucial for the market. So by and large, what we are sensing at this point of time is market is ready to look at these kind of a knee-jerk kind of reaction, thanks to these short geopolitical escalations. Thanks, they're not prolonging, and they are within the limitations. What I can say, they're not turning into a major war kind of a situation.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
that's
Let's let's also talk about some sectors. I think we're having some kind of network issue.
is
Let me
going
see.
through.
I think we are having a little network issue. We'll just wait
It's
for
not
it to
easy
get.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neha, there's some seems to be
Yes. Yes. You are back.
some network.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, Neha, am I summed up?
Yes, yes, yes. We can. I think we should move to the sectors now. I think we'll talk about sectors that are focused in the near term, or maybe next week. Let's also consider all the situations that are going on India-wise and globally. So, which sectors do you think will be in focus?
Neha, with respect to the sector specific concern, banking and financial services can be investors' watch list. The stocks have uh, consolidation phase. The inflation has been cooling off at this point of time. So the center of growth is can be banking and financial services. We have witnessed NBFC stocks are rallying. We have witnessed a wide variety of banking and financial services stocks right now. One hand, we have the public sector banks, private sector banks, large cap, mid cap. Even we witnessed small finance banks also rallying in the recent past. So banking and financial services sector, one can keep it on their watch list. And also the defense, which has been playing a formidable role. We have been quite bullish about defense stocks on your show from quite a long
Yeah.
time, from past 36 months and so. In fact, all these defense stocks have created a humongous wealth for the investors. And these stocks have been showing strength and resilience. So this saga is going to continue. The defense stocks are going to be still there is a lot of stream is left in these companies on a longer term basis. In medium term, we can expect some kind of a profit booking or consolidation also can be possible, since these stocks have rallied in the last 45 to 60 trading sessions. They have
Yeah.
rallied more than 100% from its lows. So some kind of a profit booking also can be expected, but the earning visibility is quite strong. Any dip in the stocks, one can accumulate the stocks for a longer term basis. And also the power stocks looks very attractive to me on a longer term basis. Any dip in the power stocks, the companies involved in the power equipment, power distribution, power generation, these companies can be considered for a longer term investment. Infrastructure has been theme which was in a consolidation from quite a long time. So
Hmm.
as we are in the next 2 quarters away for the budget again, the annual budget. So by the time the infrastructure stocks also are going to have a better shape for the longer term investment is concerned. So these are the themes: banking and financial services, the defense, and uh, infrastructure and capital goods and power. One can keep on their watch list going ahead. And
All right.
Neha, we are within few days, few weeks. Again, the Q1 earning season is going to kickstart.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the template is how the results are going to be. These are the factors one need to keep it on their watch list.
Right. So, can we also discuss about the outlook on some stocks, a few good ones, fundamentally good ones from the sectors that you mentioned?
Yeah, in terms of the stocks are concerned, one need to keep like defense space is concerned. One can keep stocks like Hindustan Aeronautics, BEL, Garden Reach, Mazgaon Dockyard, Cochin Shipyard. So there are whole variety of stock list is there. So by and large, yeah, the stocks I mentioned, any dip in these stocks, one can accumulate for medium to long term. These stocks have uh, strong valuations and strong fundamentals. They're not cheap, but given the kind of a strong order book and earning visibility, these companies, okay, any major kind of reaction, any kind of correction in the stocks, one can try to accumulate these stocks for a medium to longer term perspective.
Okay. And what about financials and NBFCs? Any good stocks you feel could
Uh,
be in
in
focus?
terms of the banking and financial services are concerned, one can keep the large caps in private sector banks, and PSUs are concerned. State Bank of India, Bank of Baroda. These are the stocks one can keep on their watch list. Um, and there are specific NBFCs also one can keep on their watch list for a any kind of dips. Okay, these in the market, one can use to accumulate these stocks for a medium to longer term perspective.
All right. Now let's come to the main agenda of our session, which is outlook for next week. So, what's your outlook on Indian markets in the near term, and what is the outlook for next week?
Neha, markets have been, as we mentioned, have been climbing the wall of worries, and given the kind of past 20, 30 sessions, what market have witnessed is a complete global turmoil. Also, we witnessed, but we could able to Nifty could able to swiftly stand above 25,000 level. That's a phenomenal
Mhm.
thing. Markets went through a different kind of a complex situations which are unusual in nature. Still, thanks to the domestic liquidity, the DIs have been quite firm, and also the foreign portfolio investors yesterday they bought around the tune of 12,500. They have been cherry picking as and when the clarity emerges on Indian markets as the uh, crude started cooling up. Foreign portfolio investors also turned positive with respect to Indian markets. So by and large, the factors that are impacting the markets on a negative side at this point of time have been the external factors. The domestic factors have been quite strong,
Hmm.
and domestic macros have been quite good for Indian market in the medium to longer term perspective. So the earnings, how it's going to be pan out for the Q1 is extremely crucial.